There was once a river that did not merely flow with water, it flowed with laughter. Its currents shimmered with joy, its waves hummed lullabies, and its banks echoed with the giggles of children. But when sorrow came to the village of Abanik, the river fell silent. The water turned still, the songs faded, and the laughter died. Only one child dared to seek the river's lost joy, but to bring it back, she would have to face the weight of her own broken heart. The village of Abanik and the laughing river. Long ago, nestled between golden hills and emerald forests, the village of Abanik thrived beside a miraculous river. Unlike any other, this river did not just quench thirst, it healed souls. Elders said the water carried the spirits of ancestors who had known great happiness, and so, whenever someone bathed in it, their sorrows melted away. Children played along its banks, their laughter blending with the river's own, creating a melody so sweet that even the birds paused to listen. The river's guardian was an old woman named Mama Ife, who had cared for its waters since she was a girl. She taught the villagers that the river was alive, fed not by rain alone, but by the joy of those who loved it. Laugh, and the river laughs with you, she would say. Weep alone, and its waters will thin. For generations, the people honored this wisdom until the day the storm came. The great sorrow. It began with a sickness, a shadow creeping through Abanik, stealing breath from lungs and light from eyes. Mothers clutched feverish children, healers burned herbs day and night, but the sickness did not relent. Then came the rains, heavy and unending, swelling the river until it burst its banks, swallowing homes in its rage. When the waters finally receded, the village was broken. Many were gone, parents, elders, friends, and those who remained moved like ghosts, their voices hollow. Among them was a girl named Adunni, who had lost both her mother and little brother in the flood. She wandered the riverbank, staring at the once bright waters now dull and sluggish. Worst of all, the laughter had vanished. The river did not sing, the waves did not dance, the children did not come to play. Mama Ife, her face lined with grief, whispered, "The river mourns with us. It has swallowed our sorrow and forgotten how to laugh." The journey begins. One evening, as Adunni sat by the silent river, she heard a faint sound like a whimper, like a plea. She dipped her hand into the water, and for a moment, she felt something trembling beneath the surface. A voice, weak but clear, brushed against her thoughts. Find what was lost. Bring back the joy. Terrified yet determined, Adunni ran to Mama Ife. "The river spoke to me," she cried. "It wants us to help it laugh again." The old woman's eyes filled with tears. "Then you must go to the source, child. Beyond the forest, past the valley of whispers, where the first drop of the river was born. But beware, the path is heavy with sorrow. Many have tried, but grief weighs them down, and they turn back." Adunni clenched her fists. She could not let the river die. She could not let her mother's memory fade into silence. "I will go," she said. The valley of whispers, with a small satchel of kola nuts and a gourd of the river's dying water, Adunni set out. The forest was thick, the air humming with unseen spirits. As she walked, shadows seemed to call her name in voices she almost recognized. Then came the valley of whispers, a place where the wind carried fragments of the past. "Adunni," her brother's voice giggled. "My daughter." Her mother sighed. She spun around, heart pounding. Their faces flickered in the mist, smiling, reaching for her. A desperate longing filled her chest. She could stay here, listening to their voices forever. But then she remembered the river. If she stopped now, its waters would vanish completely. Tears streaming down her face, she whispered, "I cannot stay, but I will carry you with me." And with that, the voices faded. The cave of tears at the valley's end stood, a dark cave, its entrance veiled by weeping vines. Inside, the ground was wet not with water, but with tears. Countless droplets hung in the air, each holding a memory of someone's pain. In the center of the cave sat an ancient figure, the weeping woman, keeper of sorrows. Her hair was a river of silver, her eyes pools of endless rain. "Why have you come, child?" she asked. Adunni swallowed. "I need to heal my river." The woman nodded. "Many have come here, drowning in their grief. They try to take back their tears, but sorrow cannot be undone, only shared." She held out a hollowed stone. "If you wish to go on, you must drink." Adunni hesitated. The stone was filled with bitter water, the collected tears of all who had passed through. To drink it was to taste their pain. Hands shaking, she raised it to her lips and drank. She felt the ache of a mother who had lost her son, the rage of a man whose home was washed away, the loneliness of a child who no one held at night. She wept until her throat burned. But when the last drop was gone, something shifted. The weight in her chest felt lighter, as if the tears had washed through her, leaving room for something new. The weeping woman smiled. You understand now. Grief is not a burden to carry alone. The source of the river beyond the cave, the land opened into a radiant glade. There, beneath an ancient tree, a single spring bubbled the source, but its waters were barely a trickle. Adunni knelt beside it and poured the last of the river's water from her gourd. Please, she whispered, we need you. Then she did something she had not done since the flood. She laughed. It was a small, broken sound at first, a memory of her brother's silly jokes, her mother's warm embrace. But then she laughed louder, thinking of the village festivals, the dances, the stories under the moonlight. And the spring laughed with her. The water surged, bright and clear, rushing past her feet, down the mountain, through the valley, back to Abanik. The river returns. When Adunni returned, the village was gathered at the riverbank, staring in awe. The waters were rising, splashing, singing, and with them came something even more precious. Laughter. Not just from the river, but from the people. They hugged, they cried, they told stories of those they had lost. And for the first time since the tragedy, they did not weep alone. Mama Ife placed a hand on Adunni's shoulder. You did not just bring back the river's joy, child. You taught us how to heal. And so, the river flowed again, not because sorrow had vanished, but because the people had learned to carry it together. Moral: grief is a heavy tide, but no one should drown alone. Only in sharing our sorrow can we make room for joy to return.